good, YouTube? Back with another reaction video for y'all. Consistent Tez. Oh, shit. Ooh. Consistent Tez in the building, you feel me? We on day, like, I want to see we on day 7, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7. I don't know. Sound like that. I'm gonna get straight into this video, y'all. I got a nice little video about Vsauce, you feel me? The ghost you will be. Because it's crazy that when we die, we don't die, like, all the way, you feel me? Your name live on, your pictures live on. You live on, you feel me? It's just it's crazy. It's crazy to think about it. But make sure you like, share, subscribe, stick around for more content, and we gonna get straight into this one.
Hey Vsauce, Michael here. A single piece of refined flour is, on average, just 82.67 microns wide. That means a 5-pound bag of flour contains about 2.7 billion individual specks of flour dust. Now, if each of those particles were a person, 3 bags could represent every single human alive on Earth today. 8.1 billion itty-bitty things. Are you under 30 years old?
You don't matter.
Is a
So
question
stop
that
worrying
could
about
roughly
it.
divide everyone alive today in half, the yeses and the nos. But can you imagine a second question that could then divide both of those groups in half? Well, if so, and if you kept doing that after just 33 questions, you would be left with more than 8 billion groups, each containing just one person. In other words, out of everyone alive today, we could pinpoint a specific individual. For example, you, with just 33 yes or no questions. What would
How
those questions
specific
be?
do those questions
Do
gotta
they
be,
even
though?
exist?
To be able to
We don't
pinpoint
know.
anybody
But we
with
do know
33
that every
questions?
year, about this many people die.
I
A
don't
little
know if
bit
that's
more
possible.
than
I
a
gotta see
quarter
that.
cup. But about twice as many as that are born. But how many people have ever been born? This many. 117 billion. But out
How
of
do
all
y'all
of these
know
people,
shit like
out of
that?
everyone who has ever existed, this is how many you will ever meet. You are a stranger to your own species. This is a video about how you will be forgotten. It's about the ghosts that surround us and how they're getting closer.
I'm a rider, solo, home daily driver.
My name's Diana Harrod, and I've been here for almost a year.
This position,
Our journey begins 2,500 kilometers above the surface of the sun. There, a hot layer of ionized gas begins its reach millions of kilometers out into space. It's called the solar corona. And normally, it's outshone by the rest of the sun because it gives off just 1/1,000,000th as much light. But during an eclipse, it can be seen. When you are
you see
eclipsed,
that
your
shit? That
own
shit
sort
look
of corona
crazy.
will remain as well. The memories people have of you, your treasure and junk, emails and texts you sent, the fact that your child has a nose like yours, every appearance you made in the background of a stranger's photo, those are all traces of you that shine while you're
That's crazy. Nobody really know, like, how many photos you in the background of. Think about that. How many photos are you in the background of? They're just strangers. Restaurants, going out to restaurants, going out to public events. You in the background of a lot of pictures. That shit gonna live on past your death. Or
alive.
like social media accounts. Like, when you die, your accounts just stay there. It's weird. You ever got you like, I don't know if anybody out there got a dead homie or some shit, but checking on one of your dead niggas' Instagram accounts, it's fucking weird. It's a weird feeling. It's a weird ass feeling just knowing that nigga had never posted yet. Or just that footprint being there. That's crazy.
But can also continue long after you're gone. Douglas Hofstadter called them your solar corona. I love that phrase because it makes a cosmological phenomenon personal by literally including you. How long will you be here? Well, that's why I made this clock. It tells the time, but it also tells your time. Just answer a few questions, and then, when it's ready, push the red button, and the clock will begin counting down the seconds you have
I don't want
left
that shit
to
in my
live.
room, nigga.
Approximately. Whenever you want,
I
you
wake
can
up with
switch it to
anxiety every
show
fucking
the
day.
time, but that's not nearly as fun. Also, this clock
Just watching
never
that shit till
forgets.
I
If
die.
you take away its
Fuck
power,
no.
it'll go dark, but it's still thinking about you. Next time you plug it in, it will pick right back up where it should be. Now, if you would like a
That's
practical, retro memento mori, you can pre-order one of these now. Omnis vulnerant ultima necat nox means soon it will be night. And it will. But while this is ticking down, something else is ticking up. the number of ghosts in the world. Your nominal
Do y'all
ghost
believe in ghosts?
is your name.
I don't know.
It's
I
out
done
there
had some
representing
experiences
you,
that
whether
make me
you're
believe
there
in
or
ghosts,
not. It won't haunt the world forever, though. As we've often been reminded, you die twice. Once when your heart stops beating, and then again, usually sometime later, when your name is spoken for the last time. But whose name has been remembered the longest? Well, signed here
Shit,
on this
Mansa Musa.
5,000-year-old tablet is the oldest written name
How the
we've ever
fuck
found.
do they know what that
Kushum,
says?
the first
Is there like an
named
alphabet or something? I don't see how they be understanding what these words mean or these shapes. Like, is there a big ass tablet with each fucking shape chiseled into it so they know in my alphabetical order or something? I don't get how the fuck they be knowing what this shit means.
character we know in the written history of humanity? Probably. It's not entirely clear whether Kushum is the name of a person or just the title of an office holder. You know, if you want to be really sure, a generation or two later, this tablet was made. It contains 3 names, Gal Sol, and 2 people he enslaved, Inpop X and a woman named Sukaljar. These individuals are the reigning
Inpop
champs
X
of
is a
avoiding
crazy
the
ass name to
second
have for a
death.
caveman.
And with archival practices and technologies being what they are today, your name could conceivably last just as long as these have already. But you know, I gotta say, if you want your ghosts to last longer, it helps to bend the truth a little bit. Toby Jukanov built this interactive globe that shows the most famous person born in
Jesus.
every location. Fame is based
Saddam
on Wikipedia
Hussein,
data.
Hussein.
How long
Hold on. Where is everybody from? Who's on this map? Lee Bay. Who know who the fuck? Cristiano Ronaldo's from a fucking island in the middle of nowhere. Oh, I thought I said Pablo Escobar. Pablo Picasso. Picasso first name was Pablo? Hitler. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Damn, him right next to Hitler. It's gotta hurt.
your article is, how many languages it's in, how many visits it gets per day, stuff like that. By the way,
That's
out
kinda
of
cool.
everyone
I'm gonna
alive
have to
right
check that
now,
map out.
about this many of us, almost exactly a quarter teaspoon, are mentioned on Wikipedia. Now let's zoom in on Stillwell, Kansas.
Okay, hold on,
Ooh.
wait. This American. Oh shit. A fucking keyboard broke. I'm gonna have to fucking edit this.
The most famous person born. I was born in Kansas City. A quarter teaspoon are mentioned on Wikipedia. Now let's zoom in on Stillwell,
Eminem.
Kansas. Ooh, hey there, good looking. But here's the thing. I
He on
wasn't born
Wikipedia,
in
he on that
Stillwell.
shit.
I grew
I
up
mean,
there.
damn near everybody
I
know
lived
who
there
Vsauce
from
is,
ages
though.
5 to 18, but I was born in Kansas City. For a while, a lot of things online said that I was born in
There was
Stillwell, so
Sharon
that's
Sharp, Thomas Edison, George Washington, Donald Trump. What's the most famous person from Ohio? Michael Jackson's not from fucking Ohio. It's like on the border. Abraham Lincoln from like Tennessee. John Kerry, Marilyn Monroe, Emma Stone. I don't know most of these fucking people.
probably how I wound up here. But should I correct it? What's more important, the truth or a little lie that prolongs and enhances my nominal ghost?
The truth.
Maybe the truth. Because even if my name is forgotten, images of me may stick around. And that is your second ghost. Your likeness. Figurative portrayals of what you look like. Now, we have no idea what most people who have lived looked like. Long ago, no records were made. Eventually, some were and have survived. So, who's the earliest known person where, like, we know what they looked like? Well, it's probably Gudea. He was an ancient Sumerian ruler, and 27 4,000-year-old statues of him have been found in southern Iraq. They stand out
Oh, yeah, all
not
them
just
look
for their
like they was
craftsmanship, but
working
also
around
for
the
the
same
fact that
time.
earlier depictions of human forms are
What
either
the fuck?
more abstract or generalized, but because these depictions of Gudea are
that's
more
somebody's
realistic,
face.
are so similar to each other, and
And
have
there's
been found
multiple
spread so
statues like
widely,
that, too.
it's tenable that they're similar to the actual face of the actual individual as he appeared in life, the first known illustrated person in our history. Even if your figural ghosts don't stick around as long as Gudea's have, things that look kind of like you might. I'm talking about your genetic ghost, your personal genomic variation that can be carried on by your descendants. Now, interestingly,
You only stay around for
even
like
if
3
your progeny
generations.
are especially fecund,
By that
your
third
genetic
generation,
ghost
that ain't
probably
you no
won't
more.
stick around that long. Just
My
how much of
great,
your
great,
unique genetic
great
code
grandpa
winds
can be
up
fucking
in
white.
your grandkids, for example, depends partly on chance. It could be anywhere from
Chinese,
23
he can
to
be fucking
27%.
Indian.
Your great-grandkids will only
wouldn't
contain 9 to 14% of you. Your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren will on average be no more similar to you than you are to any stranger. In fact, it is at that distance that it becomes possible to be genetically left behind, for absolutely no personal chunks of your genome to be present in anyone. More than 70% of your ancestors from 11 generations ago aren't in you at all. So you're not so much the genetic foundation on which your progeny sit as you are their baby teeth, a thing that served a purpose.
So like that mean it all leads back to one relative. We all got a common ancestor. That's crazy. We all come from the same group of people originally, probably.
but was destined to then fall out and be set aside. Where should you be buried if you want to become a fossil?
Damn, so we all
Fossils last a
cousins?
long time. Your legacy could be representing our species in a cool bony pose in a museum millions of years from now. Well, as it turns out, fossilization, the mineralizing of bones into rocky ghosts, is an exceedingly rare occurrence. Bill Bryson puts it this way: less than 0.1% of a species is ever lucky enough to become fossilized, which means that millions of years from now, all that will be left of every single person alive today in the US will probably just be about 60 fossilized bones, not even one full human skeleton. The best way to improve your chances of becoming a fossil are to be buried rapidly and deeply with no coffin under the seafloor of a still mass of water at low elevation where sediment deposits will be swift and fine and oxygen levels low. Some locations that fit this bill are parts of the Black Sea, the Gulf of Mexico where the Mississippi disgorges, and the mangrove swamps along the northern coast of Australia. But even then, there's
right
risk,
there. Niggas
right?
turn into
Earth
a
is an
fossil.
active
Nigga fly my
churning
ass.
rock, and
100
erosion can
100,000
wear you
years from
away.
now, I'll be like, this the
Metamorphic
first
activity
nigga.
could melt you back down. So
This
if
was
you
the
want
first
to be
nigga.
a
His name was
trace
Tez.
for a long time, leave. The oldest unchanged piece of Earth wasn't even found on Earth. It was found on the moon, where geological activity is less brutal. A monolith engraved with your name and biography buried on the moon would be a good idea. Except in, 5 to 10 billion years, our sun will expand into a red giant, engulfing the Earth and moon, likely destroying them forever, so a copper disk coated in aluminum and gold floating through space would be even better. The golden records aboard the Voyager spacecraft could exist for trillions of years.
Trillions?
They could conceivably still be legible even after the last star goes dim. But your final type of
Damn.
ghost will be there too.
That's
It's what I
crazy.
call your ripple
They're
ghost,
gonna be around
the
forever.
diffused domino effect of all of your actions.
So why ain't we
there will
never
be
found
people,
nothing
for
else
example, a
from another
century from now, who
civilization
could
for some
enjoy
shit
the
like
shade
that?
of a tree you planted without ever wondering who put it there. The butterfly effect effectively guarantees us all a sort of anonymous, minute immortality. Just by being born, technically, you changed the universe irrevocably. The tiny and subtle but very real way your mass affects the planet Saturn right now will contribute in some extremely small way to exactly how and when its rings collapse. When the
That's
universe
crazy.
enters
How the
its
fuck
heat
does
death
that
and it's
matter?
the same temperature everywhere, the arrangement of matter in the universe will be the way it is because you existed. There will be no minds to observe it, so you won't be remembered, but you won't be annihilated. But so what? Oh, I've got ghosts that stick around. Newsflash, buddy, I'm not my ghosts. Okay, first of all, yeah, that's exactly why talk of fame and legacy gets so fizzly. For what? I won't be around to enjoy it, and eventually no one will be. But secondly, that's actually a pretty good definition of the self. You are everything you take with you when you die. Your secrets, the things you could have done or said but never did. That's what you are. Now, you could desperately try to do as much as you can and leave as much on the table as possible, but life is short. Too short? Well,
Short as
Derek
fuck.
Parfit has pointed out that
Life
the
is so
brevity
short,
of
it
life
flashes.
probably has nothing to do with its
The majority
meaning.
of us spend
If
all
your
our
life
time
was
working a
twice as
dead-end
long,
job.
would it have twice as much meaning? If we were all immortal, would the meaning of life suddenly be obvious? No. Meaning is separate from the sheer
I feel like immortality takes the meaning of life away. What the fuck are you living for if you live forever? If you don't die? I would hate to live forever. A lot of people would say they would want to. I wouldn't. Take me out. Take me out, because it's a reason for why we're here. It's a journey. You feel me? I feel like death is the end of that journey, in a way, in a sense. It's the end of this journey. You feel me? We go to a next one. We was here before, and we're gonna be here after. But living forever is just not something nobody should want.
anticipation we crave. We just want to keep playing this game. And there's never been more game to play. Staggering amounts of what we want to experience have been tamed into beasts, so lightweight and so fast that, like ghosts, they can pass through walls. The soy bomb only lasted 36 seconds, but because a digital ghost of it lingers in Earth's largest haunted house, an average of 40 people have seen it every day for the last 30 years. Old music started outselling new music for the first time in 2015. Today, we each spend an average of 7 hours and 3 minutes a day in a haunted house full of avatars and messages from the living and dead alike. People and ideas and art in the past have become not just accessible, but accessible. We are on these ghost portals so much it's become pretty much the only way anyone finds companionship anymore. For crying out
Hold on,
loud.
look at this graph. Look at this graph. Met online. Went up, straight up. Met through friends, going straight down. People not talking to each other no more. People not talking to their friends. Like, people not making new friends, new connections. Man, the restaurant and the bar is going up. So I mean, that kind of goes against what I just said. But damn, look at fucking met through family. Well, I mean, I guess we're not fucking a lot less people fucking their cousins. Yeah, met through family. Everybody was just probably fucking their cousins. But met through school, damn, I feel like a lot of people meet their forever partner in high school or college and shit like that. Like, for that to be such a drastic drop is crazy. But that's just because the internet exists and you just meet more people.
More people on this planet own cell phones than toothbrushes.
Albion Online is a sandbox MMORPG in which you write your own story instead of...
That's crazy. These
Documentality
niggas with
is the
shit
word
breath
Maurizio
got an
Ferraris
iPhone.
gave to his ontology of traces,
brushed their teeth
but it's
for
also
4
a great
years.
word for the extent to which
You got
day-to-day
that
life
sativa.
in a society happens as documentation. In a society of high documentality, nearly every transaction, click, step, every memory, everything said or done is vulnerable to recording or simply comes into the world already pre-remembered, not as an ephemeral oral exchange or a haphazard note, but as a high-fidelity, time-stamped, cataloged artifact. In such a world, it shouldn't be surprising if it starts to feel like there are more things you've said than things you could say, more ways things have been than ways things could be. The future isn't what it used to be. But don't get it twisted. Complete documentality is far from here. As I've mentioned before, our estimates of the current human population have about a 2 to 3% margin of error. That means that about this many people may or may not exist. And at any given moment in the US alone, there are about 40,000 deceased bodies whose identities are unknown. When Steve Fawcett failed to return to the Flying M Ranch in 2007, search and rescue efforts sent to find him discovered 8 previously unidentified airplane crashes that weren't him, but had been out there for, in some cases, decades. And when authorities searched for Gabby Petito, they found her and the bodies of at least 8 other people they weren't even looking for.
That's crazy.
We are not a documented species. We are a bunch of animals walking in and out of rooms. That said, something's changed. The last time a body was interred in the tomb of the unknown soldier was after the Vietnam War, but it was removed in 1998 after DNA testing connected it to a name, Michael Joseph Blassie. In 2014, prosecutors didn't need witnesses or security cam footage to construct what happened between
They just
Michelle
got a
Carter
tomb full of
and
bodies that they
Conrad
cannot
Roy
identify.
because they had these thousands of text messages. Despite living just 35 miles apart, Carter and Roy's relationship occurred almost entirely through text. So these are not pieces of their relationship. They're not evidence of the whole story. They are the whole story. These messages aren't missing the glances, the nods, the way he or she said it. This is all they each saw. And we have it all. An entire human relationship that happened as, and still is, undying documents. They're all online. Just a few taps deep in the world's largest ocean of documentation. And we just keep filling it up, turning more and more of what we do and see into ghosts, not just to remember, but to experience. When we instinctively watch events through our phones, it's not that we aren't living in the moment, it's that we are. Today, to be in the moment, you have to be fully in the moment. Every part of you, even the eye, you have to charge, and the mind you share with others. See what's happening? We
That's
are not
crazy
just
as
getting
fuck.
more
Everything
ghosts.
is just
We are
documented on
beginning
the
to
internet.
live as ghosts, as an account, a like, a post, a view. And it's great. We're spared the humilities of confrontation, and to be an image is to be something. Frederick Douglass and Sojourner Truth knew this. They had photographic images of themselves printed up. To own and control and sell your own figural ghost meant that you had power. But today, being a ghost surrounded by other ghosts causes a certain kind of newfangled anxiety. In his 1985 Amusing Ourselves to Death, Neil Postman describes what he calls the information-action ratio. Now, even though this book predates the World Wide Web, it may as well have been written about it. Let me ask you a modern version of a question he asks in here. How often does something you see on social media cause you to alter your plans for the day, or to take some action you would not otherwise have taken, or provide you with insight into some problem you are required to solve?
What would y'all say? I say about 20% of the time. I don't really get too influenced off social media posts and shit like that, just because I separate that shit from reality, and I know the internet is not real. None of that shit motherfuckers really post is for what it is. So I wouldn't say it happens for me too much of the time, but a lot of other people are influenced by the internet a lot more, and from what they see on their phone can influence them to go do actions in the real world. You feel me?
When everything persists, irrelevance takes over. But the constant scroll of doom and pleasure and distraction isn't just irrelevant, is it? No, it's truly a ghost that can pass right through you. You can sit and stare for an hour and not remember a single thing you were served. We don't do that because it feels good. We do it because our minds want to be unsettled. A never-ending scroll of decontextualized news and horror and comedy and family and backflips.
Think about that though. What if you remembered everything that you scrolled past through vividly through your phone every day? Imagine how fucking scattered your fucking mind would be. You gotta get rid of that junk. That's why we could just go to work and not remember the whole fucking day, or scroll on our phone and not remember none of the posts. Shit like that. We just throw away with the junk that we don't need. And we do it so subconsciously.
Some unholy modern abomination of nature, it is exactly the niche we evolved to thrive in. Oh no, my brain evolved to eat berries in a cave. No, it evolved to reach the lushness of Southeast Asia and then cross the Wallace Line, not because it had to, and not because it could, but because what laid beyond was next, and we've got autoplay on. Hey, let's build a thing that floats and we could fit in it. We could call it a boat. Huh? What's that? Where will it take us? Away. We are not the universe experiencing itself. We are the universe ignoring itself. We are the universe looking for something else. In order to be here for long, we needed to not be here for long. I don't think it's the adventure or the icing on the cake that motivates us. And then cross the Wallace line, not because it had to, and not because it could, but for long, we needed to not be here for long. I don't think it's the risk or the challenge that motivates us. Good stories and curiosity and adventure are the icing on the cake we really desire, unsettledness. Not knowing what's going to happen next can be exciting. Why? I think in the same way that long necks were selected in giraffes because no one was eating the way up high leaves, and in the same way that white fur was selected in polar mammals because no one was eating snow, imagination was selected in humans because no one was eating possibilities. As soft apes in the midst of climatic change, those who survived didn't wait for natural selection to provide an answer. No, they relied, as we still do today, not on evolution, but on resolution, on picturing and manipulating an analog world inside the theater of their own minds. Up here, we can imagine things that aren't hypotheticals, the distant past and future, the way things might be. We can recognize that collecting firewood now will be worth it. We can recognize that if there's no water here, we can bring it to us. The world is not our home. It's fuel for the fire up here where we really live. But because of that fire, we have made the whole world our home. Our ancestors are those hominids whose resolving never resolved. Now, sure, binge watching TV or scrolling a social media feed are pretty different than crossing the Bering Strait, but they're still unsettling, right? What's going to happen next? Each next swipe brings you something different. Like the cognitive niche we built for ourselves, it never resolves. But unlike the travails of our ancestors, there's so much less danger. We can witness and interact safely from home, like pieces of luggage being moved at light speed without moving at all. The internet is a bounty of torques and velleities, pushes that spin us around but don't move us anywhere, and wishes not strong enough to inspire action. We're not amusing ourselves to death. We're amusing ourselves to life. A longer, scarier life. And as always, thanks for watching.
Just gonna stare at me.
Don't forget to...
Alright, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Hope y'all learned something from that. That was a cool little video. You know, Vsauce, his shit be tough. I wish he dropped more content. This motherfucker drops every fucking blue moon. But shit, I'm gonna get at y'all with the next one. Y'all be smooth.